and then a background check, her friends are like, you should definitely serve candles. Like, they just a little bit, almost like the halfway house. And that's the end of Act 1. It just feels very natural. Okay, so it's a family business. Alejandra, all she wants is the chance to explore herself. She wants to go back to Chile and Argentina, find out about herself, just take some time to find out about herself and what she wants to do with her life, because hi, it is currently 12:24 a.m. on the 24th. But I am going to count this entry as the 23rd, since that's when I did the majority of the work. And can you hear that plane outside? It is very intense. Let me sit you down. So it is quite late. I look like a mess. I did a lot, more of which I want to talk about in detail maybe tomorrow. Should I just talk about it now? You're gonna be in the video now. Let me just check here.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, I'm back. So I do think I will talk more in detail tomorrow, because I pulled out all the stops. I pulled out Save the Cat. I read a couple chapters. I pulled out my final draft file, and I have just been taking notes on this iPad. And I'll talk about how I tried to outline it, but I think the thing that really finally made it click for me, there'll be video of me just walking around back and forth. But the big thing that I realized, that I know I've said in a couple of vlogs before, but it's just in bold now, is the coffee shop as a symbol for Alejandra's state. So when Alejandra is doing poorly, the shop is doing poorly. And when the shop is doing great, she's doing great. This is a completely different show that I've vultured and pieced together and like reimagined to be this new thing. And I think I have kind of Act 1 and Act 2, the beginning of Act 2 of a 3-act structure, and then I'm gonna have Act 3, and that'll be the end. I just think it's funny right now. At the beginning I'm calling 90s Styles Cafe the Busy Bean, and then the middle, the Busy Bean Glow Up, and then it's gonna be the Busy Bean Crash, the Busy Bean Dead, Café con Leche Born. That's kind of where it needs to go. The glow up, the peak, the crash, and then a completely new reimagination of what it is. I will talk more with you tomorrow, because I'm actually very excited. I can't believe I figured out the motivation for her. It's literally taken me forever to do. End of play literally starts in a week. Your girl's coming close to deadline, but this outline's gonna be done. I can feel it in my body. All right, see you tomorrow. Hi, it is 25th of March, 1:13 a.m. I am in what I like to call my depression garb. It's just been raining on wet recently, and it's been hard. I was gonna come on here today, talk about everything that I worked on yesterday, which was really, really important in terms of like where we are in the show. And life has just been hitting your girl. One thing I can publicly say is that my car's transmission is completely fucked, and I have to put in, well, my husband and I have to put in $6 grand to get it fixed. So if you've ever considered wanting to tip your girl $1 on Patreon, this month it will go a long way. Life has been so perilous. I have been kind of unable to do what I need to do, and I've been sneaking in work on the show when my mind clears a little bit. It's been a very emotionally stressful month, but this week just really reached its peak, and it's been hard to think creatively when you're just trying to survive. Okay. Enough about that. All right, let's talk about what I did. So first off, I used Save the Cat, which I rarely do. I don't really understand the structure. I don't really get it. And it just makes things harder because I think it uses a lot of words and terminology that I just don't really see in musical theater, that I don't know how to kind of marry together. I decided to tackle kind of the act 1 of the act 3 structure, and I wrote kind of the opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, and debate. And I knew that I was falling into the similar pitfalls that I have been falling into. I, for the first time, opened the book to the genre section. Not your mother's genres, 10 genres to fit any story, yes, even yours. So in 10 genres, they have why done it, rites of passage, institutionalized, superhero, dude with a problem, full triumphant, buddy love, out of the bottle, golden fleece, and monster in the house. So I was between a couple, with the maybes being rites of passage, buddy love, and golden fleece, and with the two that I really thought it was going to be either institutionalized or full triumphant. After reading the full triumphant description and kind of what they suggested in the actual chapter breakdown, I realized that Alejandra is not the fool, and the institutionalized, which is a hero enters or is already entrenched inside a certain group, institution, establishment, or family and must make a choice to join, escape, or destroy it. That just really kind of hit me where it needed to hit, the sense of like being part of a family and needing to escape. And I think, as I've talked about literally for months in these vlogs, it's what is Alejandra's reason for opening up a coffee shop? A lot of my friends have been like, she just opened a coffee shop because she was bored. That was literally what people were getting from it. And that's because I didn't know why she was opening up a coffee shop, and it wasn't literally until yesterday that I figured it out. So I read the institutionalized chapter, join them, leave them, or take them down, and I would have preferred a little bit more of like the family aspect. The big kind of example for this genre is The Help, which was not helpful to me, but I think the thing that really made it click for me was no matter which institution you choose to highlight, the essential ingredient of a successful institutionalized story are the group, a choice, and a sacrifice. So the group being the family, it's just like they're stuck, this is their world, and the idea of leaving it seems crazy at first, which is exactly what Alejandra is. This was kind of where I'm living in terms of my notes, and reading this surprisingly helped in making me come up with a genuine solution. Where does Alejandra own a coffee shop? Her parents owned the 90s style cafe, the Busy Bean, served drinks and pastries, donuts, just your typical American coffees, just like the expectation of what an American coffee would be, because it's a show of them, of like their sacrifice and their assimilation to the culture. And after Tomas died, who is Alejandra's dad, Rosa decided to retire and give the shop to Alejandra. She has spent her whole life there, and she's very happy to take on the role and continue the generation, going to be the next generation to own the BCB. That is the reason why she wants the shop to succeed, and that is the reason why she doesn't fit with it, because even though, you know, she wants to keep her parents' legacy alive, she knows that the coffee shop is struggling, right? But when her mom gave her the reins to the coffee shop, she said, you can do whatever you want, but you cannot change the BCB. You cannot change the shop. You cannot change anything about it. You know, you have to continue the legacy because your dad and I kept it together for like 25 years or whatever. Instead of the opening day banner, it's going to be under new management banner. And then you have the big coffee bigwig be like, I know you're not doing well, and her being like, get out. Then we find out Megan and Nick are the baddies, and she presents the drink and she's like, adding amazing, this is what should be on your menu. Add like a little, you know, and then Alejandra's like, you know, you can't, and Megan asks her, who's the owner? Just a little bit, almost like the halfway house. And that's the end of Act 1. It just feels very natural, but that's kind of where I am in the moment. I'm thinking that right now, because I don't know if I'm going to meet with John, it's currently 1:30 a.m., that I'm actually going to type all of this up into a new final draft document that I can then export out and send to John so we can be looking at the same thing, because right now obviously these are just notes and it's kind of everywhere. Part of me regrets not putting it in the notebook that I use. I use this notebook, it's kind of like everything in it, but there's something about putting it in here that makes it feel like, you know, I was trying to do that here earlier, I think in the last vlog, and it works. I did a lot of work here, but I don't know, it's like I needed like a completely freeing version where I felt like I could make a lot of mistakes without it being like in my actual kind of notebook process of it. I'm finding that variety in the approach is what's really helping in the writing process. And so with that, I'm gonna focus on typing these notes, which you've probably already seen in the edited version of this. And so with that, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with an update. Well, I guess tomorrow for me in terms of I'm going to bed, but not actually tomorrow because it's still the 25th. Then maybe I'll like wash my hair and get out of my depression garb. Y'all, I'm trying. It's been really hard. Send some love to your girl. Hello! How are you? I know I sent it last minute, per usual, but that means that if you follow along, it's a good testament to a clear outline, which I've been working on. This week has been absolute hell. Hi, it is currently 9:32 p.m. Now, I was gonna jump in here after lessons with John because, plot twist, A, he hated my new outline because I took out all the teeth that it had in my previous versions, and he was very much like, I will continue working with you if this is the story you want to tell, but it's not as good as it previously was. But on the plus side, B, we have now a new outline for the whole show because my act 2 is so clear that I think I've finally come up with a setup that I like, that incorporates everything from the previous draft and even some of this newer draft of, you know, Alejandra inheriting the coffee shop. Now it's like Rosa and her building it together, and it ended up going super well. This is my 29th lesson with John, and we have some serious amounts of notes, but overall it went really well. I think there is this fight within me of like trying to tell an immigrant narrative while also trying to tell like a coming out story, while also trying to do like a rom-com. It's definitely a lot of stuff, and I was having a hard time personally kind of with like my original vision of the show, and I think I went too far into like the simple terms, and John was like, don't give up on it, you can do better than that. And I was like, I will. Now the reason that I don't want to go into full detail, or that I actually waited to talk to you until 9, is that like after I was done, I showered. Turns out, you know, I've been very stressed, depressed this week. It's just been raining while wet, and I had a literal rat's nest in my head. I know it doesn't look any better now, but it is actually a lot healthier. You know, I just took a time to just kind of center myself a bit. But the other thing is that I actually wanted to re-listen through our lesson and take notes of this, what I think is a final outline. John said here, woohoo, I'm feeling really good about the work we did today on the synopsis. Feels like a very strong hybrid. Can't wait to hear the rough draft of your I Want song next time. So I haven't told John I'm doing end of play. I think what my goal next week is going to be to listen back through our lesson and do the Wellissimo outline treatment for the show. But I think then I can start kind of working through the I Want song, and in this new version of the draft, I have taken everything away from Alejandra in Act 2. She really does lose just everything. And it feels good. It feels natural now in a way that it hasn't felt like ever. And so it's like, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I think that's what next week's vlog is gonna be about. Just me finalizing the outline, and we start writing a song, which I haven't written a song for this show in over 6 months. After this lesson, I was just beaming because we did it. Like, John didn't let me give up on my original vision, even though I had already been like, it's way too hard for me to figure it out on my own. And now I think I have an outline that I'm genuinely excited to sit down and write in the next month. And I think I can get it done if I want. And so with that, I will see you next week with a new vlog. Bye-bye.